Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And out of the blue, completely out of the blue, I was not expecting this from the devs. We have an April PUP, a public update preview. Notes have been released, which means, guys, you can go onto Steam, you can change the version of the game, you can try this out, and of course, let them know what your thoughts are. Some things will get potentially changed, tweaked, added before the full release in April happens. But let's have a quick look at it right now. So we have a few issue here's and changes that have been fixed, but really, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I want to have a look at the main balance changes for specifically for the civilizations. So we can see here we have certain things like general, we have light infantry correcting the damage multipliers there against shock infantry for specific light infantry's units classed here. But really, guys, I want to go down. I want to have a little bit of a look here. If I go all the way down, I want to get to the juicy bit, right? I want to get right here. Here we go. Civs. Let's go through this. Let's be quick. Let's not dilly-dally and dawdle. Let's go. So we have Aztecs, the Eagle Scout, fixed an issue causing the Imperial Age upgrade to be applied to Eagle Scouts in the Industrial Age. And this is an interesting one. Town Center big buttons. So they've lowered the cost of the big button in the TC to be in accordance with the new cost of the Jaguar Prowl Knight. So I don't know what the new cost of it is. I think it's cheaper, so I'm pretty sure it's cheaper. So this should mean that that big button is going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be slightly cheaper food for you to get that out. I think you get 4 or 5 Jaguar Prowl Knights from the big button, and obviously it scales up as you age up as well. Moving on to Dutch State Armies card in Age 3 now also makes infinite mercenary cards arrive faster. Okay, fantastic. And Buck Riders. So this is one of the newer mercenary cards that were added to Dutch. I've got to say, I've really got to try Dutch out again because there's so many new cards that have been added to Dutch, to Germany, really improving their kind of mercenary outlaw play. And the Buck Riders card here has been significantly reduced. So the cost of it, only 250 coin now from 500. So hopefully that's going to make Buck Riders more of an option in Age 2 for Dutch rather than just going straight to Age 3, which a lot of people tend to do. Ethiopia, let's have a look at this. Italian firearms in Age 4 now affects the Sebastopol mortar as intended. Fantastic. That's a good change. And Stranger's Quarters in Age 4 is now set to active by default in post-Imperial games. Not entirely sure what this card even is, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Make sure to let me know in the comments below. I don't know. I don't really play Ethiopia, I'm afraid. Germans, the Prince Electors, a big card that is just fantastic for all of the mercenary outlaw stuff that you get with it. It says, fixed an issue with the Oldenburg Royal Hunter costing no population slot. Fixed an issue with missing unit upgrades that occurred when also being allied to the German royal houses. And allying to the same royal house on the map and in the native embassy will now increase the unit build limit. So there we go, a few tweaks and stuff for Germany. Moving on for the Howd. So the Howd have actually got a pretty decent buff here all round. I think Howd haven't really got a huge amount of love in the game. They are still a strong civilization in my opinion, maybe like a mid-tier civ. They're definitely not bad. But let's have a look at this. So we've got Hyenas. So they sort of are similar to the Chetan Bowman from Lakota. So you can now see they shoot faster the closer the target is, and ranged attacks benefit from target lock. So it seems that pretty much all kind of bowmen like this, native bowmen, have the target lock feature sorted now, which is fantastic. And also this is going to make Hyena really good as well. They're pretty good unit anyway. This is going to make them even better. So a very good buff here for Howd. Also, we can see a collection of Age 4 cards being completely transformed here. The 5 Renegade French in Age 4, you now get 8 of the Gendarme Cuirassiers, up from 5. That's massive. The 11 Renegade Dutch now sends 20 Statswacht Halberdiers, up from 11, but the cost has been increased, of course, to counteract that. 22 Lenape allies now arrives in 60 seconds, up from 40. North American trade in Age 4 has actually been moved to Age 3. And finally, the Confident Chain here. I don't even know what this one is. Confident Chain. Cost reduced to 2,000 from 3, but now sends 4 Irish Brigadiers down from 8. 4 Highlanders, 3 Harquebusiers, and 2 heavy cannons. The card is now infinite. Right, okay, interesting. So I think definitely overall, Howd have had a nice buff here. The Aena being one of the big ones, because Howd love to play Age 2. They've got a very strong Age 2 play, and Aenas are crucial to that. And this change right here is going to be fantastic. Moving on to Hauser here, Fulani Archer. Damage multiplier versus heavy infantry has now been increased. All right, so Hauser getting a nice little buff here as well. And finally, Stranger's Quarters in Age 4 is the same change as we've seen previous. This one is kind of sad, and I can't see many people talking about it. Inca, the Cancha House, such a crucial building for Inca, especially with my recent video, if you haven't seen it, where I do the Cancha Boom. The Cancha House, so the hit points has been decreased to 1600 from 2000. That's quite significant. That is actually a bit of a game changer with how you want to place your Canchas, not placing them too aggressively in the map. Having only 600 HP now is quite an impact. However, they are cheaper, guys. 170 wood now, down from 180. Is that going to make a huge amount of difference? I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, you've got 12 Canchas. If it's an extra 10 wood, that's 120 wood. So it's 120 wood reduction over all of your 12 Canchas. Is that significant? I'm not too sure, but what I do know is significant is the HP from 2000 to 1600. That is quite significant. This is another one as well, Monumental Architecture. So this is the one that improves your HP of your buildings and walls, I believe. That has been moved to Age 3. I don't have a huge issue with that myself. The Royal Festival Big Button. This big button delivering 1 Maceman per 4 minutes of game time now costs 250 of each resource, down from 400 wood and 500 coin, I think that is, potentially. Yeah, don't know what that asterisk there, but yeah. Okay, nice. And the Souper Ceremony, Maceman spawn time reduced by roughly 30%. So they really want you to use Maceman. They really want people to start trying to use Maceman more. It's very, very clear from the changes here for Inca. The Indians. So the Azep Ottoman Consulate improved the rendering speed of the Azep visuals. I don't really know what that means. The rendering speed of the Azep visuals. Interesting. Okay, I guess that is just a graphical change. So it's not really a balance change. That one, I would say. Strange. The Dravidian Martial Arts fixed an error that granted sepoys plus 5% melee damage in the volley stance. Okay, that's absolutely fine. No issue there. So no changes for India. A lot of people have been complaining that there haven't been any nerfs to India, haven't been any changes to Otto, to Italy. Well, I say Italy. We do have something coming up here. Let's just have a look at Italy first. The Architect here, hit points have been reduced significantly there, 275 to 225. This is a big one here, and also this one as well. Let's have a look at the second one. Initial build limit reduced to 2, and now increases by +1 at every age up. Now, of course, a big Italian kind of build order and strategy is to go for a fast industrial. So even if you have that fast industrial, you are still going to be able to have that kind of build limit. So it's not really that effective. However, if you do stay in Age 2 or Age 3, you are going to see it hit you a little bit more. You're not going to have those architects or as many as you may have had in the past. This is a big one here. I've seen Revnak and others trying to do this strategy where you just keep building tons of outposts and you wait until you get to Age 4, you send a few cards in Age 4, and then you push out and you win the game. It's kind of absolutely gross. It's horrible. It's a real turtle, and it's just awful. So they've actually changed this. So building outposts now take longer for your architect. So it's now 170 seconds, town centers as well, and also walls slightly. So we'll see how that stacks up. Lakota, one of my favorite civs at the moment. Just one sort of change. The North American trade card has been moved to Age 3. I actually don't really... I don't actually know what that does. Civs... where is it? Lakota. Can I search? There is a trade card here. There it is. Villagers now earn extra coin whilst gathering natural resources, particularly from animals. Okay, we'll have to see how much that is. I'm not entirely sure how much extra it is. So that's interesting to know. So potentially something there to use in Age 3. The Mexicans, now my Mexican knowledge is limited, guys. I'm going to be honest, it's very limited. Let's have a look at this one. The Barbacoa. now correctly causes all livestock to fatten more quickly when gathering from the hacienda. The coach guns, which is from the Bay Revolution, now ships 3 bandidos and 3 cuataros instead of the renegados and comancheros. Criollos now arrives in 40 seconds, down from 60. I don't even know what some of these cards are, guys. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to move on to the Ottomans. I'm terrible. I need to get my game knowledge down. Mexicans and like USA, I haven't really played them that much. So the Ottomans. So we have a buff for the Ottomans. So the Azeps, they've improved the default attack animation. I don't know whether that's actually... because there's usually like a charge with the Azeps, similar to like longbowmen. They sort of wait for a bit and then they'll fire. I wonder if this is going to remove a lot of that. If that's the case, that is a pretty decent buff. The Capitular Corpse in Age 4, which is from the Palace Intrigue, the cost has been increased to 2,000 food now, but now also delivers 5 spar heat up from 4. So, sort of not too much of a nerf or buff there, to be honest. And the Matraki School in Age 2 replaced the placeholder icon with the correct one. Okay, so no real massive changes from Ottomans. Depending on this one, though, because I did do a recent video where I did an Azep kind of strategy using the Azeps. So maybe that's something that you could potentially do. Let's have a look at the Portuguese here. Whoa, this is a big one. Starting crates. You now start with an extra plus 50 food. That, ladies and gents, is kind of insane. That is going to be a nice buff for Portuguese. They're being able to age up even quicker and get going, and potentially getting to the next stage with an extra villager as well with that plus 50 food. So that's really, really nice. And the Constable card now affects Llaneros instead of the Dragoon Combats. Okay, right. Moving on to Spanish. There is a Spanish card here in Age 3. The Soldados are now balanced with regular combat values and need to be updated manually to guard an Imperial status in the Hacienda. Once again, now balanced with the regular combat values and needs to be manually... Oh, okay, that's quite big because this is the card that people like to use quite a bit, I believe. This is the Soldado kind of play that you can do with Spain. This is quite nice. So they basically don't shadow tech anymore, and you have to update them manually to guard an Imperial in the Hacienda. Does that mean you have to pay for them when you update them manually? I guess there is. Note, the Mexican Revolution continues to automatically research. Okay, so the Mexican Revolution automatic researches guard Soldados. And finally, the Spanish Square here corrected an issue, sending this card a second time in the Imperial. Okay, and we've got the final two here, Swedes and the US. And US have got a really chunky buff here. Pretty crazy, to be honest. We'll see that. But let's have a look at the Swedes first. The Gustavian Guards here. The cost has been increased to 1,700 food from 1,500. So a slight buff on that card for Swedes. And look at this, right? Look at these. These are the quintessential immigrant cards here that you would use when you play the United States. Definitely the French immigrants is going to be one that you pretty much always go with. Look at that, 250 wood to 225. That's a 10% reduction needed on that, which means you're going to be able to get your CDBs out quicker. You're going to be able to get your economy quicker. You're going to be able to age up quicker. The Dutch immigrants as well, which means you get a bank, basically. Look at that. That is over 10%. That's like nearly 15% reduction in coin cost for that. Once again, that's going to help you so much for your economy as well if you want to play Age 2, 3, whatever. And the Oklahoma Black Mesa card, that has also been reduced. But I don't actually know what that card is. It's in Age 3. I don't even... Oh, there it is. It ships 1 coal prospector wagon and 5 gunslingers. It enables gunslingers to gather coin from mines. That is potentially an option now, because that's only going to cost you 200 wood to send that, and you get a gold mine. That could be a late game potential option there. So there we go, guys. That is it, all wrapped up. Let's have a quick look at some of the comments. I always love to do this. No British buffs. Disappointing. We do have some trolls on here. Well, an excellent update. Great list of changes. Italian FI has been fixed. Soldado FI fixed. And they haven't ruined Italy in the process of nerfing the FI. Fantastic. There we go. I'll just keep posting this until someday it's taken seriously. It's literally just asking for the original mercenary rework. Mostly good changes I'll only speak to civs I play. The Hound change to N, it feels like a nice change to help versus must cast, especially as Heavy Cavalry Goon. A big problem early now for Hound. Yeah, the NA trade to 3 must be for treaty. Yeah, it's more for treaty, I would say. Kudos to the devs for attending to so much lane. Reducing the tower FI, Soldado cheese, and fish rush is the type of stuff that a quick patch can stop. Yeah, so I think there's been, there's been certain things around this, but what they're not doing at the moment, the devs have done a great job with what they've done so far, but they need to have a look, and maybe Otto a little bit with the Abyss Gunners potentially. I don't know about India. I can't say for sure. And also Russia definitely needs a little bit of attention, I would say. But there we go. Yeah, revert the Boyers nerf, please. Yeah, the Boyers nerf needs to definitely be brought back. So there we go, guys. Hope you really enjoyed it. There it is. A quick run through of the April PUP, the PUP. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this. What have the devs done right this time? What have they done wrong? Is there anything that they need to add? I think overall they've done a pretty darn good job. Some of the cards, I don't even know what they are. Really embarrassing. I mean, I don't play all the civs, guys. I try to, but I'm trying to stick to a few here and there. So some of these cards, I'm not even aware of what they are. But as I say, anything that I've missed out on, I'm sure you guys will help me in the comments below. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video on the next stream. Catch you later, guys. Bye.